Hello everyone, my name is Anna and I'm a PhD student at the School of Veterinary Medicine, University of Glasgow in Scotland, UK. So I wanted to record this video just to share with you my preparation experience for my viva, that is in 3 days, on Thursday 24th of October 2019. So this time in 3 days I will be sitting in the room with my internal and external examiner and postgraduate convener or chairperson for the viva. In the UK, viva usually lasts around 3 hours, and 5 is probably maximum. Unlikely it's going to be less than 2 hours. So anything around 3 is usually fine. That's what I'm preparing for. But I plan to record another video on Thursday or just after Thursday after I pass, because I strongly believe I will pass my viva. And I will share with you how it was actually. So I strongly believe that I will pass my viva, and the reason for that is that I spent 4 years working hard, actually getting much pleasure from what I'm doing, and also it's quite unlikely statistic-wise that I'm gonna fail, because from what I've read, maybe only 1 in 60 to 70 candidates fails their viva, and I'm not going to be one of them. I submitted my thesis 3 years and 11 months after I started my PhD, and then I waited for another approximately 6-7 weeks for my viva, so it's not too long. And after I submitted, I took quite a lot of time off, not off work completely, but off my thesis, because I didn't want to see it for a while. But it doesn't mean that I didn't do anything. I was actually preparing the papers for publications, papers based on the experimental parts, chapters of my thesis. So it was good because I could gain a different perspective of my work, but at the same time not forgetting too much about what I've done and what I've written. And I have 7 chapters in my thesis: literature review, material and methods, 4 experimental chapters, and then general discussion. So I dedicated 7 full days for preparation. And what I was doing well, I'm still in the process. I'm now on chapter 5. So what I'm doing, I'm reading a chapter, and then I'm reading a few papers, usually 1 or 2 papers that are of the other authors that are closely related to what I've done. And I think about what questions I can be asked, and sometimes I find some minor mistakes in my thesis. I think it's totally normal, so don't get upset if you also do. So today my supervisors texted me to ask if I have any questions before my viva, or if I want them to do a mock viva with me. To be honest, I don't really know how mock viva can help me. Probably sometimes it's really difficult to speak in a simple language and to remember that the work you've done and you know so well, your examiners don't know as well, even if they spend quite a lot, and I'm sure they did spend a lot of time on reading through your thesis. You still need to start with the basics, so don't expect them to already know everything that you think they know. So if they ask you to summarize your thesis, that I read is quite a common first question, just to gently break you in into the process. So I suggest you prepare this question, because it's very likely they're going to ask it, especially if you did not have to do a presentation before your viva. I didn't have to, they never asked me. So when I was repeating this question and I was talking out loud to myself, I found it quite difficult, to be honest. I find it easy to speak about my thesis with my friends and horse owners. My PhD thesis is in equine nutrition. Uh, but when you imagine that this question is coming out of your examiners, first you don't really know for how long they want you to talk about it. Are they expecting like one sentence answer, or are they expecting 2 minutes answer? Should you start from a background, or should you include material and methods, like general material and methods that you've used, relevance of the study, implications of the study? So yeah, I suggest you clarify it with them. So even if they do ask you, you can ask them back, like how detailed answer you want to receive back. Also, I downloaded a list of other questions that they can ask you. Some of them are, again, because PhD theses are all very different, so you will not find the questions related to your PhD, but some of them, like for example, um, questions about putting your study into perspective and general area of research in your field, and how is it important, who will benefit from it. So this kind of questions you may expect to be asked. Also, think about the strengths and weaknesses of your study. You don't need to talk about the weaknesses of your studies unless your examiners ask you to identify them. Often, I think the questions around what would you do differently, and what would you do if you had unlimited source of funds, or sometimes not just funds, but in general, utopia, the best conditions for your research you can imagine. How would you design it? So yeah, preparing for something like this can be interesting and can help you, and also you can practice talking about it, because when you have it in your head, it's completely different from when you need to start talking about it. So at the viva itself, your examiners expect you to be equal with them. So they expect you to be able to maintain a professional discussion around the questions of your thesis. And usually they're genuinely interested in what you've done. So not all of their questions will be to try and find out what you don't know. They can just be really interested in what you've done, and they may want more details, or they may want your opinion about future research that is required, and so on. So you can even argue with them if you don't agree with something, of course, politely and within the limits. So don't drive them mad. I don't think they're going to appreciate it, but it's important to remember that during your thesis you're explaining what you've done, so you're not a student anymore. Basically, you are entering this world of adult researchers, and you should be able to be one of them. So have your opinion, have your point of view, be able to defend it, and remember that your examiners are not there to fail you. They are there to talk to you and to get you know better, and maybe to give you some good ideas as well, and opinions. That's the only opportunity for you, maybe throughout your whole life, to have discussion about your thesis for such a long period of time with people who are experts in the field. Oh, and by the way, um, my external supervisor, he is from Germany, and he is an editor of books, many books, and one of them is probably a equine nutrition book that everyone has, like all equine nutritionists. And my supervisors told me that he recently retired. So when I started to look what kind of publications he has done, what is his area of research, because it suggested you try and investigate this topic uh, to kind of expect what fields they may highlight, or what areas they might ask you more questions in. So in my case, my external supervisor did so many things that it's hardly like it actually doesn't help to look through his publications, and um, it's such a long list that it covers nearly all the aspects of equine nutrition. So I don't know, probably I'm very lucky or I'm not so lucky. I will let you know later on Thursday. And last but not the least, I'm going to give you a short list of my recommendations of what to do before your viva. Maybe I will repeat many other videos and suggestions that you can find online, but maybe for you it's not so obvious. So it's good to see other people's opinions and experiences. So first of all, get yourself a copy of the thesis that your examiners have, and make sure that the page numbering is exactly the same in your copy and their copy. You can bring a bottle of water with you, you can bring some fruits or sweets. Usually if the viva lasts a long time, you will be given a time for lunch or for a food break. You can always ask if you need to go out to the restroom or just to have a snack. So don't patiently wait for them to offer a break if you really need it. I get probably some kind of paper with pencil to take notes, and you can always pause, like if they ask you a question that you need time to think about it, you can always take, well, don't take 5 minutes, but take 30 seconds to 1 minute and concentrate on the question and think about what to answer. You should not start speaking immediately. Dress up comfortably. Think beforehand what you are going to put on. Maybe try it at home, see how it looks, if everything matches, if you feel good in it. So you should not look completely stylish. That's not the reason, but look professional and comfortable. You're probably going to sit with them at one round big table. That's how it happens in the UK. So I was always imagining I'm gonna stand in front of the panel like I do at the conferences. Yeah, but then after I read about it, it appears that that's not the case. So come to the venue well in advance, plan how you're going to get it, double check the night before how the traffic is going to be like, think about what happens if your car is broken down, maybe have some taxi phone numbers in your phone, I don't know, try to think about everything that may happen and may go wrong, but make sure you get there well on time. Usually after the viva, you may be asked to go for lunch or dinner with your supervisors and examiners, hopefully to celebrate. So I would suggest not to plan anything, first of all, because you don't know how long your viva will last, and second, because you don't know if they invite you to join them for the post viva celebration. Or maybe tell your friends, if you have friends at your school or faculty, maybe they want to arrange something for you, um, like cake or drinks, whatever. Have a good rest before your viva. Don't work too hard last few days. Spend enough time, well, on preparing, of course, you should prepare well. But take enough time to relax, do some yoga, do physical exercises. This really helps. Have a good sleep. This also helps. And don't stress yourself. Uh, don't read too much. Don't watch too many videos about other people's experiences. Just a few is enough, because your experience is your experience and it will not be completely the same as other people's experiences. And keep your mind open. Don't have any expectations. Maybe just one to pass.